Is it working now? I think it is. Hello? Oh, I don't have any compressors on this mic now. Hang on. I need to start that. Oh, this terrible streamer I am. Hello. And then we gain it a little bit. Hello. Oh, I can hear myself. That's... Ugh. Why can't I hear myself? That's bad. Oh, I know why. I haven't set the headphones volume off. There we go. Now I can't hear myself, and you should be able to hear me. Hi. Welcome to a painting stream. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, and the reason for that is because it's been a minute since I've been painting. We did do... Oh my god, look how sweaty I am. Jesus Christ. We did do a painting stream where we painted with some sponges a while back, but I've not painted at all since, and it was a long time before that. But I want to get back into it, and one of the reasons why I haven't been painting so much is because I have had this sort of looming horrible feeling about my Tau army and how I need to finish that before I can move on to painting anything else, which is a terrible idea, but it's just the way my brain works. So, it's time. We're gonna finish the Tau army. So, let's see. If I move over to desk, woo! Here we have my desk. It's a little bit dramatic on the lighting, isn't it? Let's see if I can fix that real quick. I don't know if I can, but it would be cool if I could. Color correction? No. Color adjust. Auto white balance. That's the opposite. I think this is just making things whiter. Yeah, that's not useful. What does pre-multiply alpha do? I don't know. It's not the best stream, but fortunately it's not the painting stream. It's gonna be a different stream that's gonna be the painting stream. When I start doing my my vampires. And I have another stream planned before that, where I'm going to be using these boys, my test marines, to figure out a paint scheme. But yeah, so if you've been around this channel a while, I think I'm going to take down the light a little bit. Will that help any? Maybe, I don't know. If you've been around for a while, you will know that I painted up part of this Hammerhead / Skyray to with sponges, and I'm gonna continue that today, but with the parts of it that I didn't paint. I can't do all of it with sponges. There's of course some details that need to be done with brushes. So that's gonna be fun. And also this guy who can you even see him? My god, black. Really not good. Need to work out the light here. I need to move my other light. I think it's better to have that here if I'm gonna be painting more. But yeah, so this is the gunner for, or the look at whatever for the Hammerhead, and then I can just remove that, and it becomes a Hammerhead by doing this. That just slots on like that, and then I have two weapons for the Hammerhead, whatever this thing is. And whatever this thing is. And these probably should be magnetized rather than just flopping around, but I don't have my magnets yet. So anyway, we're gonna paint the engines We're gonna paint the cannons. We're gonna paint the sky ray thing. We're gonna paint the drones, all with our patented, definitely not patented, sponge technique that I stole from Midwinter Minis. Come on, Jesus Christ! I also tried out a new primer for this that I've never used before. Vallejo airbrush primer. Needs some time to cure before it really sets up, but after that, rock solid so far. Anyway, so I'm gonna need to remove these and start painting. Let's see. You off. Then we just slide these off. Take out the drones. Yeah, and then we can put this somewhere else because we don't want to paint that. Let's grab a couple of these. And let's start painting. So the key to this painting style is to use a very watered down paint, like ridiculously watered down compared to what you normally would do. And also to work in layers and be very gentle, honestly. Right, so we're gonna start. I don't remember the paint recipe that I used for this, so I'm just gonna grab all my grays because we're gonna be working up from black into a gray into a white. Let's see, where's my dead white? I have some Skaven Blight Dinge. I think those are all the colors I probably want right now. And we're just gonna be watering them down quite a bit. We're also gonna be using this, which is homemade medium. Sort of, what do you call it? Citadel has one of these things. It's like thinning medium or something. It's really great. Helps to really thin out the paint without sort of losing, without the pigments just going all over the place. And I'm also going to be using this pipette to grab some water. Like this. I don't know why I put it in there. That was pointless. So yeah. Let's start off with some Skaven Blight Dinge. I probably should vortex this up so that the paint is properly mixed. All right. Fantastic. So let's that's not a great way to do that. Let's see. Where's the focus point? There we go. Well, this is a terrible idea. I now don't have a way to get back to my everything else. Okay. So, just gonna take this Skaven Blight Dinge that we just mixed up. Oh. Okay. Apparently not as much as I would have wanted. Or it's been dried a bit. I have, like I said, I have not painted in a while, so the paint has dried up a bit. So we're gonna put a couple of drops of the medium in here to really start thinning it out. And now this might be a good painting consistency normally, but we want it even thinner than that. We want it almost like water, because we're only going to be, effectively we're just going to be glazing it on with sponges. Yeah, this might be good. We'll see. And the reason I'm wearing gloves is actually for that very reason, because let's see, it might actually be easier to use the ends here, and then we'll just do that. It's too much paint, but we'll dab this off. Yeah, that's probably good. It's bubbling up a little bit, which tells me that the sponge is a little bit too thin to do this, or too soft to do this. But yeah, so we really just want to be dabbing it on. Might have thinned this a little bit too much, but we're going to be going over this in multiple layers because we want to build up a texture. And we really don't want to be pushing down on the sponge very much, because then we're going to be starting to, so if I show here, I don't know if this is going to be visible. So if I really press down, you can kind of see how there's a lot of bubbles. It's kind of hard to see, but there's bubbles. We really don't want the bubbles. We just want the texture. So as you can see, it's kind of uneven. And that's exactly what we're after. The one thing is, this might be, I think it might be too dark, but I think it's going to be fine once we've built up a bit. And a big reason why we're doing it like this is because we're going to be building up a texture, but also this paint, very little of this paint is going to get into the recesses. So we're going to get free sort of shadows by just using this technique. And because it's very thin paint, it's gonna dry really fast, so we can just go over it very, very quickly. Right. I had not really thought about how I was going to do it on this side. Apparently I didn't prime the underside very well, but that doesn't matter because it's not going to be seen much. Rule number one when hobby painting is, if you can't see it, who gives a shit? And like, even if someone picks it up and looks at it, who's going to look at the underside? Who's going to look at the cool top? So for this one, because this side is going to be inside, I don't really care about that much, as much as I do the rest of the engine. I think I should move the camera so that it is easier to see what's going on. Okay. And let's make sure we're all zoomed out. I really thought the over-the-shoulder camera was going to be the way to go, but I don't think so. It just doesn't look, you can't really see what's going on. So I'm just going to have this in my face. So yeah, just sponging on textures. Oh man. So yeah, it's been a long time since I painted. You know, it wasn't because I didn't like it. I always enjoyed painting. It was just the sort of not the shame, but I kind of fell out of love with this Tau army. I just didn't feel like painting it. And I sort of felt like I had to finish what I started before I could move on. I get that a lot, where it's like I have to do this one thing, and if I don't, I'm not allowed to do anything else. And it's like, all right, so I have to clean my flat, right? And I'm not allowed to do anything until I clean my flat. And it's like, all right, so what do I do? Well, I just lie on my couch and surf Reddit because I don't want to clean my flat. Now, here I fucked up. You can see a little bit of a bubble texture. Let's see if I can. You can see a bit of a bubble texture there. That's not what we want. We don't want the bubbles. And on the inside, I don't care. But yeah, so I just haven't felt like painting. But because I could, like, or I haven't felt like painting my Tau. Because I haven't painted my Tau, I was not allowed to do anything else, which sucked. So other than that one video or that one stream where I painted with sponges last time, I've not painted for like a year. And another reason was that I wanted to paint on stream, but setting up for a painting stream has been a pain in the ass. But now that I have my new painting set up, or I have my new streaming set up, this is actually a lot easier because all I have to do is move this microphone from one desk to another, which is not too much of a pain in the ass. But the camera's gonna stay as it is. That camera's gonna stay as it is. This monitor's gonna stay as it is. So it's just gonna be super easy to set up for a painting stream. And I think that's really gonna help me paint more, because basically at any time I can just throw on a painting stream. With very little preparation. And what has me really excited are my vampires. Because I started collecting those in 2021 when they first came out with the Soulblight Gravelords. When they first came out with Soulblight Gravelords, I really wanted to start a Soulblight Gravelords army, and so I did. And now I have like 3,500 points worth of vampire stuff. None of it painted, almost none of it even primed, which, you know, is terrible. But the next painting stream after this is going to be me figuring out the paint scheme for my Soulblight Gravelords. Specifically what red to use, because I have multiple red colors. I just don't know which one to use for the armor, and I'm probably gonna need multiple reds, because it's gonna be a Legion of Blood army, It needs to be red. But I don't want every single character to have the same red. So like the Blood Knights probably should be one red. The horses should be another red. Crimson Court should be another red, and so on and so forth. And I want to see what works, what doesn't. So I'm gonna have a couple of acrylic paints, and I'm gonna have a couple of I'm gonna have some inks, some metallics, some non-metallics, just to see what's working. You know? Ooh, now we're really talking. Let's see if I can get that on. So you can see that there's a difference between that wing and this wing, because now we're sort of filling in the texture. Also, I noticed that the palette sort of dries up a little bit, which really helps with the paint application. Like the paint comes onto the sponge a lot better. So that's exciting. I don't want to super get into all the crevices, but I do on this stage, on this gray, this very dark gray, I do want to get in and make sure that I have most everywhere, because I really only want the black in the very dark recesses. Just dabba dabba dabba, yabba dabba doo. Oh man, Flintstones. Haven't thought about that show in, I don't know, 2 decades? When was the last time I watched Flintstones? Probably in the 90s. God, I'm old. I used to watch it a lot on, because it used to run on Cartoon Network when in Sweden when I was a kid. And I would be home sick from school. Fuck. I used to watch it a lot. That and Scooby-Doo used to run during the days. There was a lot of good shit on Cartoon Network, like Justice League Unlimited. Let's see what else ran. X-Men Evolution, I think, ran on Cartoon Network in Sweden as well, even though them probably ran on Fox Kids or something else. Surely Cartoon Network being owned by Warner Brothers and DC being owned by Warner Brothers wouldn't run a Marvel show, but they might have. In Sweden they ran all kinds of weird things. Never ran anime though, but for some reason they had Toonami, and if you're unaware, Toonami was like in the States and probably in a lot of other places, was like a programming block named for cartoon and tsunami, because it was supposed to be Japanese cartoons. So like a lot of other places got like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. We did not get Dragon Ball or any other anime on Cartoon Network. We got, what was our Toonami? It was like Samurai Jack and Star Wars Clone Wars. And that's about what I remember from Toonami. All I remember is that it had a CG like intro to it. All right, that one's done. Probably gonna have to mix up more paint. Yeah, definitely gonna have to mix up more paint. I wonder if I even need the medium in this. What if I just... where did the pipette go? I swear to God, I lose things. I've not left this chair and I've lost something. Oh. Fell on the floor, fell on the floor. It's all fine. Okay, lots of water. Probably 3 to 4 times as much water as paint. So we want this really loose, so we can build this up in layers to really get that texture going. I'm trying to use the corners to get into the recesses where I actually need it to be in the recesses. It's like between these things. I don't ever want to, so here, don't ever want to stroke, because then I'm just wiping away the paint rather than putting it on. Alright, let's do one side that is just completely wrong. I don't know why I started pushing, but I did, and you know, I regret it, but it is what it is. I've now worked air into the paint, which is bad, because it's gonna leave too big of a texture. That's the problem with working air into the paint. That's not to say we don't want any texture. Definitely just want texture, but not the big bubbles that come with working air into the paint. Okay. Making sure we get all over the cannon. do have some mold lines here, but I have a feeling that, you know, if you manufacture something this in real life, you know, to scale, it would still have some sort of mold lines, so I'm okay with it. Like some sort of seam would be visible. I sincerely doubt the Tau Empire can just create one of these and it all be in one big piece. Although, you know, they are space communists, so maybe. I don't know what that means. Why would space communists be able to do it, but space capitalists not? So when I was setting up this stream, I was wondering, like, alright, how should I categorize it? Because you can do like, alright, gaming, and then you set the game or whatever, but Warhammer 40,000 is not a game on YouTube. It's live. No, it's just not an available category. Unlike on Twitch, where Warhammer is. So I was like, alright, well, what do I do? And so I was looking around and was like, alright, well, there used to be like an arts category. I don't know when they removed that, but there sure as hell isn't an arts category anymore. Which is a shame. I don't know why they would remove that, but they did. What else has been going on? Started taking singing lessons at the beginning of this year. That's been really interesting. It's a very different skill to anything I've done before. Actually, I'll come back to that because I think it's time to go up a level into Mechanicus Standard Grey. I think what we'll do is just mix that in there. Oh, okay, that was very watery already. Why is my MSG so watery? That's weird. Interesting. Whatever. Alright. Mechanicus Standard Grey. Don't need too much water here to thin this out because it was already quite thin. 3 small drops should be more than enough. Maybe it's quite potent paint. Remember, we want to build up layers with this, like ogres. Layers. And I'm just gonna use the other side of the sponge because why the hell not? I don't know why I'm painting with the wrong hand now, that's weird. Oh, I didn't bring any damn paper in here. Let's use an old rag. Okay. Yep, just use the other side of the sponge. Get some MSG on there, you know. Make Uncle Roger proud. Now we should really start seeing... this might actually be a little bit too potent, but oh well. sure we get this pretty much all over the place, leaving a little bit of the old color shining through still. Once more, we're painting with a sponge and not a brush. If we wanted to paint with a brush, we would have just done it. If we wanted full coverage, or an airbrush, even better. We don't want that. We want some texture to this. So you can see sort of coming up texture-ish now. I'll put this one aside for now, and I am gonna water out this a little bit because it was a very potent paint. I want it covering a little bit less than it did. Because every step I want to do in 2 layers, I think. Although maybe Mechanic's Standard Grey will only be in 1 layer because it's, wow, it's really potent paint, considering how much I've thinned it out. And you know, since it's a vehicle, if I scuff anything up while putting things down, it's fine. It's a vehicle. It's gonna have scuff marks. Things are gonna look weird. It's gonna be dirty. That's just the way it works. I'm gonna try to speed up though, because I feel like I'm taking a little bit too long. Although I'm most certainly, I overestimated how quick I would do this, thinking that I would finish my Tau army today. But yeah, I think you get the gist of it. If you want to replicate this method, I think it works really well for anything quite big. It won't work well for small miniatures, but like vehicles, terrain, oh, this will look sick on some terrain. Shit, that's way too much. Well, the good thing about having a sponge is that I can just wipe things off a bit. And keep moving. Okay. What follows this step is then Administratum Grey, but with the Administratum Grey we're going to do something a little bit different, where we're not going to be doing an all over coat. We're only going to be focusing on the parts that face upwards. So the recesses should be quite black right now because of the method, because our primer was black, but all the top sides are quite gray now. So what we're going to do is now add Administratum Grey, but we're only really going to do it on the top here. We're not going to try and go under the wings. We're going to go just the tips of the missiles, maybe a little bit on the back. We're not going to try and get everything. So this sponge is dead. You're dead to me, son. And I think what I'm going to do is wipe up a little bit. I will wipe up this paint, because it was so potent. Go, put that in the bin that I have on my desk. And mix up. So mix a lot. Since this is a lighter paint, it shouldn't be as opaque as the Mechanicus Standard Grey. So we should be fine. We can paint a little bit. And that'll still show a lot. We want the previous layers to show through a little bit. Okay. This is very watery now. We'll see how this goes. I'm kind of just guesstimating here. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm no pro painter. I've not won a golden demon. You know, one day maybe, but it is not this day. Okay, so we just want splotches. So here, the top of the wings. I mean, that's all. That's all top. We'll just do the tip of the missiles. We'll do these little ridges here. More missiles, and then. Just like that. We're not going crazy with it. We'll do a little bit on the back as well, because that will be visible. This is a very prominent piece of the Skyray, so we do want it to look good. So you can see here in the dips, not doing any, basically no Administratum Grey down there. And we are going to do a second coat of Administratum Grey. So here, definitely the tip. Doing a little bit on the sides, but nothing on the bottom. These onions sit like this. It's important to know where how your models are gonna sit, especially when you're painting in sections like this, in sub assemblies or whatever you want to call them. it's very important to know where they're going to be at the end. So here's a great way to show. So this will be pretty much vertical here. So I'm just going to do Administratum Gray on sort of the top half here. And it might not show through very much right now, but it's on the second layer, it's definitely going to show through. And then when we start adding in white, it's definitely going to show through. And same thing here. Probably not, there's this ridge here. Probably just hitting a little bit on the ridge, but not going below it. Because I don't want full coverage on this color. I want it to just be on the top side. Because it's a highlight. So we'll redo that here. And just on the top half. And this one's going to be interesting. It's going to sit like this, so just go with the top. We don't want any down the middle, but we do want in the middle on the back parts. We'll do a little bit like this. Maybe try and hit maybe with some corner action on the side of the muscle here. And this is subtle. It's we thin the paint a lot. Here, top side of the cover, the hatch. We'll do the big pieces. But I won't like go up on it. I'll do the rim around here because that's going to be catching light. But I won't go overboard with it. We'll have another coat on it soon. So the skyray bit has almost dried up. So let's do another one, and this time I'm just gonna do sort of the outside. Just gonna try and leave the middle there's like a strip in the middle I'm gonna try and leave unpainted there on the second try on the Administratum Gray. So just want the edges. I want the middle to be a little bit darker. We'll hit the edges like this. We'll hit the front of the missiles. Nothing underneath. Move back to the big laser cannon, whatever this is. Railgun, I guess. Honestly, I don't know much about Warhammer 40,000 lore. I tried reading up on Tau lore, but it was just confusing me. Probably because it's been changed so much over the years. Ooh, these have not dried yet. Moving a little bit faster than I was expecting. Guess I'll just wait for a bit. Hang out. What's up? How's it going? Yeah. How's it going, bros? My name is Beauty Pie. I don't know where that came from. Just said, how's it going? And yeah. I think I went a little bit ham here. This one seems to have dry though, so let's do that. Oh shit, that's a lot. Fortunately, sponge can just dab off. Bum bum ba-dum 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 bum ba-dum. Okay. Do a final bit around the cockpit or porthole, whatever you want to call it. On the back top of the hatch. And around the rim of the hatch. Okay, I think that hour really went fast. I'm gonna let these dry a bit more, and then I don't know. I'm gonna let these dry. We'll see where I end up with it. Thank you for watching, and I will be back whenever I'm back. Unfortunately, it seems I've had some stream issues, so I'm gonna see what's up with that. But anyway, goodbye.